we're going to start with a strip that's 3 inches long by 1.5 length of your blouse front. Next, we're going to sew with a long straight stitch 1/8 of a way from the raw edge. Now we're going to take one end and we're going to tie it off. On the other end, we're going to start pulling the bottom string to begin to make the ruffles. And there you go. Here's my blouse. We have to cut it in half. We're going to measure in 4 inches and mark. Then we're going to measure down 10 inches. Sorry you can't see this. And make a mark. Then you're going to connect the 2 marks together, making a V. Now we're going to add another inch or 2 down at the bottom, making kind of like a rectangle shape. And we're going to cut that, and you don't have to be specific here. Just kind of give it a roundedness instead of just a straight lines. I'll take the left side of your blouse, and you're going to line up the ruffle with the raw edge of the blouse, and of course with the raw edge of the ruffle. Use a 3/8 inch seam allowance here and sew down all the way to the bottom. And always remember to backstitch. Now we're going to make sure the seam allowance is tucked under to the left. We're going to sew right down that line there, just catching that seam allowance and making sure to stay on the left side of the ruffle, not sewing on the ruffle. Here you're able to see the final look. And also you need to try and finish your raw edges either using a zigzag stitch or your serger here. Okay, now we're going to grab the other side of our blouse. We're going to start there at the bottom of the V, and we're going to put our rough edges together, and we're going to sew that. Again, using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Finishing at the top of your neckline. And make sure to trim those edges off, so when you sew it together, it will be a lot easier. Now with the straight stitch, we're going to go ahead and sew along the side of the ruffle again, right up next to it but not on it, and making sure that seam allowance is underneath toward the left. Now we have both of our blouse pieces. We want to make sure before we sew them together that our seams are matched up underneath, making sure it lies in the right way. Now we're going to go ahead and carefully sew. We're going to make sure that we sew down the already sewn stitches there. Okay, we're all done. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.